From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Well, happy Monday morning to you. Boy, what a weekend it was, especially yesterday. Saw those gusty winds pick up last night. Very strong winds, of course, leading to a lot of power outages. We're going to get to that in a second, but I do want to remind you, especially as these storms move through, I've got a handy app for you that you can follow the storms. You can watch my regular weather updates, video updates, live 24-hour streaming channel, check your neighborhood, check your current conditions, track the radar. It's all right there on the free Weather NorCal app, and it's all available on iPhone and not to mention your Android device as well. Let's take a look at those peak gusts over the last 24 hours, and you can see gusts upwards of 40, 50 miles per hour. And there were many other areas that did see over 60 and even pushing that 70-degree mark, and not to mention the fact that with these gusty winds, the power outages started to the south of us. That's where the winds were strongest yesterday afternoon. Those winds then made their way up into the northern California region, and of course, many power outages out there as well. Tens of thousands of power outages, most of them this morning and last night have been in Butte County, but you can see in Tehama, Shasta, Lassen, Siskiyou, and Humboldt County, all seeing anywhere from 100 to 5,000 people without power. Now, the winds are still very strong this morning and will continue to be strong, but we'll take a look at what we expect those winds to do here throughout the day here in just a second. Let's take a look at the storm totals as far as rain is concerned and flooding. Boy, that's something we've been dealing with as well, and there are flood warnings out there too. So over the last 3 days, really what we're looking at here is over 2 inches of rain for most of us in the valley. We didn't see as much for the coast for the most part, right? And of course, not to mention in the foothills, but heavy rainfall in the valley, and of course, not to mention heavy rainfall in the foothills, all that runoff going into the valley, that is going to create some localized flooding, if not already, that some of you may have seen, especially down to the south in Glenn and Butte counties, right? We still have a flood watch until tomorrow morning, but see this area right here, that's for the Tehama Bridge, Sacramento River, at the Tehama Bridge. There could be reaching that flood stage here. So that's why there's a flood warning for that area. So just be forewarned, especially around the creeks and streams, and not to mention along the Sacramento River, a lot of the flood-prone areas will most likely see some flooding here today and even into tomorrow morning. The wind alerts, there's a high wind warning through about 10 o'clock this morning, so winds still very gusty through the morning hours out there, but we should start to see those winds subside here a little bit later. And again, we'll take a look at those wind forecasts in just a second. Let's take a look at the headlines. Gusty southeast winds. We've got a cool and unsettled weather pattern out there today with even a chance for some thunderstorms again, for especially to the south in Glenn and Butte County, maybe even eastern Tehama County as well. Flooding concerns into tomorrow morning, that's what I was mentioning, and we do expect to see some relief from all of this, especially by the time we get into the weekend with drier and warmer conditions in the forecast. Let's take a look at your planner here for today, region by region. For the valley, you've got overcast skies, showers throughout the day, maybe even a few isolated thunderstorms. I'm expecting rain and snow, depending on your elevation, for Siskiyou, Modoc County, not to mention off into the eastern mountains as well. I'm expecting more of that rain and probably heavier rainfall for parts of the north coast, and not to mention inland and in Trinity County, looking at some rain and snow there also, depending on your elevation. But we are looking at an area of low pressure right here. That's responsible for those gusty winds. Here's the atmospheric river that's really now pointed over Southern California. So we're going to watch that atmospheric river pretty much dive down to the south. So there's that atmospheric river I was talking about. And then as we go into the next 24 hours, you see how it just continues to push itself south into Baja and to Mexico as well. And we're not looking at any more atmospheric rivers heading our way anytime soon. So let's walk you through the timing on Precision Cast here. And here's what it looks like for today. Here we're taking to about the noon hour. We're seeing the bulk of the rain actually off to the west, but we could still see some scattered showers for the valley, some snow flurries in the eastern mountains. Snow levels a little bit higher today. I'm expecting around 3,500 to 4,500 feet. So you have to go above 3,500 feet before you start seeing at least a chance for significant snow. There's today at about 5 p.m. Again, most of it's on the coast here, but we could see a stray shower or even a thunderstorm for parts of the valley this afternoon. Now, you can start to see things wrapping themselves up by the time we do go into tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. Still a chance for a few flurries or showers here and there, but you'll notice even some clearing skies here making its way into the valley. Then we go into Wednesday. We have another disturbance coming in from the north and west. This one will probably bring lower snow levels, 2,500 to 3,500 feet. So it's not out of the question for places like Hayfork and even Weaverville to see some of that. And of course, we could see some of that rain making its way into the valley. Can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm as well, but for now it just looks like rain. But look at that, we're seeing snow out towards the north and northeast. And again, snow levels a bit lower, down to as low as 2,500 feet. That'll probably continue into Wednesday afternoon. Forecast rainfall totals through Wednesday afternoon. I do expect to see not as much as we've seen here with these past storms. Again, we're not looking at the influence of an atmospheric river, so we're just not going to see as much rain. However, the coast still looking at healthy amounts, over an inch there. We look at the forecast snow totals, and we're not going to see much more here for today, but look at this. As we go into Wednesday, remember I was mentioning those snow levels are dropping. We could see more snow for places like Weaverville and Hayfork. Once again, it's borderline as far as that snow level is concerned for Weaverville and Hayfork, but you can see better chances for places like Chester, Quincy, maybe even Bernie and Mount Shasta seeing some snow. But if you notice, it's not a ton of snow that we're going to see at those lower elevation communities. You have to go above 4,000 or 5,000 feet before you start really seeing anything significant. And speaking of significant snow, boy, the ski park looking pretty good here. Here we even go through Wednesday. We are expecting probably over another foot of snow or so over the next couple of days. The winter storm impacts for today, they're going to be out there, but not as bad as it was yesterday. There may be some minor impacts on I-5. We could also be looking at the potential on Highway 89, but of course, as you can see, most of it is off into the eastern mountains, so most likely still dealing with some chain requirements throughout the day today. All right, let's get to those wind gusts. Even at noon today, we're still seeing those gusts easily over 20 and 30 miles per hour. There's central Siskiyou County, looking at some gusty winds there. But look at this. As we go into this afternoon and evening, oh man, doesn't that look nice? Much more relaxed winds out there for this evening, and not to mention as we go into Tuesday. So this wind event should finally be out of here later on this afternoon, and really in particular this evening and tonight. There is that chance for thunderstorms here for today. Looks like the best chances will be to the south, but you know, we can't rule out a chance for a thunderstorm or two even up to the north out towards Shasta County as well. But looking at futurecast, not a whole lot going on. Yeah, it looks like maybe by Friday a system coming through bringing us more snow in the mountains, but overall this upcoming weekend and even going into next week, we just don't see a whole lot of activity heading our way. And as a result, you look at the precipitation outlook, it's actually looking like better chances of below normal precipitation long range, near normal up here for us here in Northern California. Bottom line, we're just not expected to see as much rain as we've seen here. And also look at the temperatures. We're beginning to see those temperatures moderate a little bit, and that may allow our snow levels to increase a little bit here as we go into the next, say, 10 days or so. But again, nothing to be terribly concerned about. I still expect to see a decent snowpack at this point. Here are your wave heights for today, anywhere from 13 to 14 feet. As you start kind of heading out to sea, it looks like you're not going to see much change here, probably down to about 11 to 12 feet by tomorrow. Here's your marine forecast for today. West winds at 10 to 20 knots, waves from the northwest at 9 feet at 11 seconds. And there you can see your high and low tide, and of course those showers here throughout the day. All right, here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. So what we've got here is off and on chances for rain this week, and not to mention snow. Down to about 2,500 feet Wednesday, and probably maybe a little bit higher on Friday if we see those showers. But it does look like over the weekend temperatures low 50s. Here's your North Coast neighborhood forecast. Also off and on chances for rain this week. Temperatures should be in the low to mid 50s. A high of about 53 degrees for Smith River as well as Klamath. 51 in Hoopa. And there you can see Orleans, a high of about 53 degrees. All right, let's take you off into Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. 49 for Happy Camp. 45 for Fort Jones. Wairika about 48. And McDowell about 42 degrees. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast. 40 45 degrees for Alturas, Tule Lake about 43, as well as Aden. That's also the case for Eagleville and Cedarville, a high of about 41. Let's take you off into the eastern mountains with Bernie about 42, 39 for Viola, as well as Mineral, 47, a bit warmer out in Shingletown at 3,500 feet there, 48 degrees for Paradise and Janesville, a high of about 41. And your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by Haas Farms. Temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. Could see some thunderstorms, especially for places like Chico, Hamilton City, Los Molinos, maybe even Corning. But as you head to the north, I think the chances for thunderstorms will be slimmer. So we'll just call for some showers here out today. But again, don't be surprised if you hear a rumble of thunder today. And there you can see maybe a bit of a break on Tuesday, then more showers coming in on Wednesday. In fact, you can see that a little bit more clearly on the 7-day forecast for Redding here, with showers on Wednesday, possible drier weather on Thursday, a chance for more showers coming in on Friday, and then drying out. It's beginning to warm up a little bit too. It looks like we're getting closer to 60 by the weekend.